Baby. We are live. My computer's having problems. I'm not sure if it's my internet, but we'll see, I guess, tonight.
You are having some issues
I
tonight.
know.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm a hot giant mess. I just got done with writing my book yesterday or the day before, can't remember at this point, and I'm in edits, so I'm just like one big day after another. Also, I haven't slept a lot. I wake up at about 12:30 to 4 o'clock, stressed out about things, and then I get up and start writing, and then I'm tired by 6, and that's when I
Mhm.
have to get my kids up. So haven't had a lot of sleep. That's where I'm at right now, Dylan. What about you though? We're actually here to talk about you and Amy and Sylvie. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
And you
Yeah,
guys
we
are
are talking about,
sorry.
that's okay, the Chasing Holiday Tale anthology tonight. And this is actually an advanced copy. And I blurred my background. So let me stop doing that because then you
Yes,
can't
we're
see the
blurring your
cover.
background.
Well, you know what? Now I can't. Oh, no. No, I can. I can unblur it.
I didn't even know you could do
There you
that.
go.
You
Yeah.
can. So yeah,
Fancy
so it has the
things.
ugly
Fancy.
bar across the middle, but it's in this because this is an advanced author copy. But yes, Sylvie made the cover. Cutie patootie,
Cute.
little
Yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
so, and it's another girthy one. This is what, our 4th year,
Yeah.
and
And it's always nice and girthy.
it's always a nice thick book. So yeah, that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And I recruited Sylvie and Amy to come and read a little bit from their stories.
Yes.
Hi.
So what charity, every year you guys do this, you rock at it. And you've had breast cancer and you've had testicular cancer.
Mhm.
Is there more? I thought you said third.
Yeah, we
This is the
did
third.
heart.
Yeah.
Last year was
Heart.
Holiday
Yeah.
Heartathon, and we did
Heart.
heart disease.
The
Yep.
Heart
And
Association.
so what is your charity this year?
It is the Valley Humane Society. And they've been around since, is it like 1963 or something like that? I mean, they've been around for
Long time.
I didn't know we were gonna talk about that.
There's a
19
little
Sorry.
slip at the beginning of the book.
Yes, we
Oh,
have
okay.
a note from the board president, and they're in Arizona, and so all of the proceeds are going to them. And then also this month, the Romance Happy Hour book box. Anybody who orders that 5%, or not 5%, sorry, 10%, which is like $5 a piece, is going to the charity as well.
Nice. Awesome. So that being said, it's called Chasing Tail, and there's a cute little animals on it.
Chasing
Holiday.
Holiday Tale.
Holiday Tail. Chasing Holiday Tail.
Yes, because we are in the spirit of the holidays. It's after
Yes.
October 1st, so we can start talking about it.
Yeah.
Even though Walmart has had like Christmas out since
Yes,
I don't
for
know,
2 months at least.
a long
Yeah.
time ago. Yep.
Do you have animals in your books? And what animals are they?
Indeed,
Yes,
we do.
we do.
Dylan, what's yours? What animal?
Mine is the
Beaver?
oh gosh, what was it? The Perfect Pussy Cat Cafe.
Mm.
And it's mainly cats, but there is a dog who thinks he's a cat.
Oh, funny.
I like that.
Is also
like
at my cat cafe.
That's hilarious.
And what about you, Amy?
So my story is called Bear Naked with the Bearded Baller, but he's actually just a giant dog that she mistakes for a bear.
Oh, funny.
Mine is in Rover My Head, and it has a dog named Spaghetti, and another one named Cupcake, and another one named Wiener. Yeah, I don't know. And then there might be one named Roast Beef, but I can't remember.
So,
if we didn't,
are we gonna get to
rom-coms?
Yeah, rom-coms. Yeah. Sylvie, for yours though, is any of your characters, or are any of your characters foodies or chefs, or
No. Well,
they just like to name their animals?
Sort of. The heroine, she owns a dog bakery, so
oh, okay,
food.
Oh, fun.
But her kids named the pets.
The dogs.
So
gotcha. Okay.
I love.
Cool. I can't wait to hear it.
I think pet names are hilarious. Like they're the most fun part of the whole thing to do. In my my newest release, my heroine has a pet rooster, and she named him Luke Skycocker,
Oh, funny.
Nice.
which I think is hilarious. I think pet names are hilarious. It's my favorite part.
Amy, by the way,
Yes.
your new release is killing it.
It's bananas, Sylvie.
Yes.
Congratulations. If you guys haven't,
Well beyond my expectations for anything. It's it's been really, really exciting.
so happy for you.
Thank you.
Cheersies.
Speaking of animals, tell us about your new book, Amy.
Yeah.
My new book.
It just came out last
Happen
week.
to have it right here.
Oh,
It's called The Cock Down the Block, because a cock is a rooster.
Uh-huh.
Although Amazon thinks my title is too naughty and it's really hard to search for.
That's
yes, I
funny.
have had multiple people say that. Do you have any tips? How can they find it?
Essentially, every day I make some sort of a TikTok or a video that says, "So you can't find my book." It's easiest if you search Amy Award books instead of the title.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
I forgot
sports
about-
romance with a football player who's quarterback of the Denver Mustangs and his librarian next door neighbor. Friends to lovers, fake dating, he falls first, and a rooster named Luke Skycocker.
Love it. Oh, how fun.
A recipe for awesomeness right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
very fun. Very fun. Very fun.
So, Dylan, now that you're done and that release is out, what are you working on?
Still working on the next book in my Whiskey Wars series, coming along very slowly, but I pushed my pre-order date up to November because it's not happening as quickly as I would like. And so, so that's what I'm pretty much spending all of my time on
I
Nice.
feel that.
right now. Although I did take a little bit of a break because Amy was in town for a conference. And so
Yeah.
I literally hugged her this morning
This
and dropped her
morning.
at the airport. And now
Yeah.
she's back in Colorado.
Now I'm already back in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm wondering why she doesn't look jet lagged though.
Maybe I took a
Like-
nap the minute I got home.
Okay. I know she was like, sorry, I was texting her today or messaging her. She's like, sorry, I was traveling. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Okay. I wish I was traveling, but eventually I'll see you guys.
I'm glad I
again.
missed out on the hugs.
I know.
I know.
You have to come next time.
Virtual hugs.
Yep. So we got to spend a lot of time together Sunday. I picked you up at the airport and we wandered around and had dinner. And then Monday I got to have dinner with you and a couple other author friends who were in town.
Author Palooza.
Yeah. And then I got to go back and we had coffee and yummy breakfast at your hotel this morning. And then I took her back to the airport. So
It was a whirlwind tour.
it wasn't much of a tour. All she saw was the Mall of America.
I mean, literally all I saw was the Mall of America and this one restaurant.
Yes.
Now, is that where they have that new Barbie cafe, Dylan? Is that
It's
the Mall
about
of
to
America?
open. It's
Yes.
not open yet.
But it's not coming until end of October.
Oh, okay. Are
But
you gonna go there?
I need to find someone to go with me because I mean I have to go and
I want to go.
I have to take pictures. Well, you should come back.
Karen's here. She should go to
Mhm.
the Barbie cafe with Dylan. She's
Karen
looking
should
for
come to
somebody.
Minneapolis and
Yeah.
you have to make reservations. I mean, this is not like a walk-in
Oh.
thing. It's
Oh,
and it's only a pop-up cafe, so it's only here for a limited amount of time.
How limited?
I'm not sure. I
I
think
must start looking for airfare.
I
I'm
think
just
for
saying, like
January-
everybody's gonna be visiting. I mean, that was a good idea on their part. Like, let's.
I'll look while Amy or
Increase
Sylvie are
tourism.
reading, and I
Okay.
will let you know for sure. So all of our viewers know exactly how long they have to come visit me in Minnesota, and that's such a good
Yep.
time of year to come too.
Yeah.
Mhm. But it's like the Malibu Beach Cafe or something. So I think they're bringing
Fun.
beachy vibes to the Mall of America.
In the winter, great. I mean, these guys are marketing geniuses.
Oh,
Beachy vibe in the
really?
winter and Barbie. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
And you can roller skate or something too. They have like a roller skating rink. You can roller skate at the
In the
cafe.
cafe.
Mhm.
Wow.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna be eating my eggs and biscuits while I'm roller skating.
Oh, I don't think they serve that eggs and biscuits. It's things like
Oh,
like Barbie's bamboo shoots, and I mean I don't even know. It's Malibu stuff.
Malibu. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
don't think they,
spam.
So maybe
Salmon eggs.
toast and smoothies, green smoothies, but
Smoothies,
yeah,
I feel like
probably no
smoothies.
biscuits.
Mm,
Although the menus, I'm going to look into all this. I'll post a link when
yeah.
Fun.
I'll go look it all up for you.
Very fun.
I'm not
Okay,
going to
so-
go.
No,
So like, no,
Well,
I'm out.
Sylvie, you have to come, but you have to dye your hair pink.
I was just gonna say something like that, Dylan. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
like mine's.
This is my color right now.
I like it.
I like it.
Mm.
I keep meaning to
It's
do a
like
color, but
right
somehow I
thing.
just keep turning gray instead.
Gray is a color, but
Gray is the color.
all right. Well, we should also ask. So we got the lowdown from Amy. Sylvie,
Yeah.
what have you been working on? Because
Yes.
I also saw that you have another a new release coming up soon.
This is fun. It's something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, and it's a co-write, but it's a menopause rom-com. But it's also combined with hockey because hot hockey players make
Because
everything
hot
better.
hockey players.
So
Delicious.
Marika Ray and I are co-authoring a series with menopausal heroines and hot hockey players. So the series is called Hot Flash Hookups, and
I love it.
the first book is coming out October 26th, and we're super excited. And it's called Hot Flashes and Hockey Slashes.
So is this an age gap or is it like
No, this particular one isn't. There is going to be an age gap in the series,
Okay.
But this first book, she's 43 and he's 41, and he's on the tail end of his hockey career, and she's like running a business, and she's like menopause is kind of like taking over her body. As those of us who are in it or have symptoms, you know how it can take over. So she's kind of freaking out. He's kind of freaking out. Her ex-husband's getting married, and she's expected to go to the wedding. It's a destination wedding. So her daughter and his daughter fix them up as a fake date thing for the wedding. Because you can't show up to your ex-husband's wedding to like this young little thing without a date on your arm. So they pretend they're dating.
Wonderful.
I love it.
And then they get it on.
Dating. I'm so in for that. What's it called again, Sylvie?
Hot Flashes and Hockey Slashes.
When's it come out?
The 26th.
I'm so excited.
Around the corner.
That
Hey.
is super soon.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We finished it like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
Yes, I feel you.
And we're
So
like,
you and I are in the same. You were in the same boat here, like editing and preparing for publication kind of zone. Right
we
now.
got it. We already sent the arcs out. So we're actually in pretty good shape.
Oh, good.
That never happens to me.
Never happened.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm
Rita
jealous.
is organized, I guess, right?
I'm jealous. Yeah.
Somebody has to be organized, but it's not me.
Mhm.
Mm.
We all need an organized co-writer.
Ah.
Oh my God. Marika Ray, I swear to you, she is like a genius of organization, and
Ooh.
she writes like that. And so she like forced me to kind of get into a really quick writing habit. It was awesome.
Nice.
I'm like, I'm gonna hire her to just come and smack me around.
Oh.
I need one of those.
Yeah. My family won't do it. I think they're afraid. I'm just gonna say, but I can't get them to smack me around at all. So
I feel like there's people you can pay for that.
I was
I
going to say, I'm
probably
pretty
can.
sure there's a job description.
I mean,
Although, yeah, don't check Craigslist for that. You might want to.
no.
You'll get some different.
Probably
kinds
not
of-
even Facebook Marketplace. I'm just gonna say that either.
Probably not. Well, should we,
Please
get
turn
to
dirty.
should we get to the readings?
Yes.
Super fun.
All
So
right.
Amy was gonna go first. Amy, do you need to set anything up?
So I'm actually going to read from chapter 2, which is the heroine's first chapter. So my heroine is a city girl. She's decided she needed to have some time away to reconsider her life choices. She's just she tried to have an agency where she helped plus size models find jobs in LA, and it didn't go well. And so she's had to close her agency, and so she's bought herself a little cabin in the woods Sight Unseen, and this is the first time that she will have ever seen it. But it was right after she stopped at the hardware store and met our hero, who was also at the hardware store. And he's a big grumpy grump, but she's a sunshine. And this story is Insta Love. So I'm going to read a little bit from her chapter where she is at her discovering her cabin for the first time. And cabin is a generous word for what she comes across. Wait, let me find the right bit. Okay, let's see. All right, my cabin. All I'd wanted was someplace to get away from the hustle and bustle of New York, but someplace far, far away from Texas and the disappointment I knew was waiting for my parents. I needed some peace and quiet to regroup and figure out what in the world I was going to do next. When I emailed Tanner, my sister May's brother-in-law, asking if he had a lead on someplace in the mountains where he lived that I could escape to, he'd somehow talked me into buying this cabin. As my rented SUV slipped and skidded through the snow on the one-lane Barely road for the 1100th time, I was beginning to understand why I'd gotten such a great deal. I should be able to see the place by now, but all I saw were more trees, and over there some trees, and up there even more trees. Oh, and then there were some rocks. My tires spun and I moved half an inch or so forward. I really should pay more attention to where I was driving and quit daydreaming about how I'd like to see the monster in Bridger Kingman's pants for myself. Come on, four-wheel drive, you can do it. I promise a nice long rest for you if you just get me to the cabin, okay? I didn't dare go any faster than I already was, but at this rate, I'd be lucky to get to the top of the mountain by sunset. What if there were wild animals in the dark waiting to eat me? Tanner had said there were bears in this area. I gave the SUV a bit more gas and prayed I didn't end up on a story in the newspaper. Failed plus-size model turned talent agent dies in mysterious accident. Did she even see that tree coming? More news at 11. I skidded around in the snow some more and happily avoided plowing into any trees. But then the road just ended, and there, within the dusky rays of the sun shining down through the clouds, was my cabin. Or, my wooden shed? Damn, this place sure looked bigger in the pictures. The pile of wood Tanner had promised would be stacked next to it was as tall as and almost as wide as the whole building itself. That's what I get for buying at sight unseen. 2 minutes after I opened the door, I knew I was screwed. It was colder inside than out, and I had no idea where to even start. The right answer was probably to go home. To Texas. A fire. I'd start a fire. There was enough junk and leaves and stuff tossed around in here to burn down the forest. I should burn down the whole cabin and start from scratch. What a pile of poop Tanner had sold me. He's getting an earful from me tomorrow. And then I was tattling on him to my sister. I blew out a long breath and rubbed my hands together. I was not a quitter. I could still do this if it meant the peace and quiet I needed to rethink my life. Step 1, start a fire to warm the place up. Step 2 was going to be cleaning up and a bit of inventory to see if I even had a place to sleep tonight besides my car. Did Bear Claw Valley even have a hotel? I'd even take a motel at this point. Nope, no. That was prissy quitter thinking, and I was not giving up. I grabbed some logs from the pile of wood outside, some newspapers from the stack next to the little wood-burning stove, and the long matches out of the bag of stuff I had bought at the hardware store. I'd gotten them hoping to light some scented candles, not even thinking I'd need them to survive the night. I could always drive back down the mountain, but I could not take another defeat just yet. First, I was calling on my finely honed Girl Scout skills and doing the best with what I had in front of me. 12 matches and 2 slightly singed fingers later, I had a fire going. And only half the cabin had filled with smoke before I figured out how to open the damper to the flue. Step 1 down, a million more to go if I was going to make this into my ideal retreat. I hadn't bought a broom, but I did get a little dustpan and a brush. Good thing there was only about 100 square feet of floor. I started piling up the junk near the door, found a full bottle of whiskey for my trouble, and discovered the chain that was supposed to be attached to the pull-down ladder to the little sleeping loft. I was looking around for something I could stand on to reattach it when I heard the scratching and growling at the door. Crap! I knew I was going to get eaten by a wild animal. No, calm down. Maybe it's just a squirrel or a raccoon. I wanted to make animal friends. I just go peek out the window and see what had come to visit. Granted, I could barely see out of the dirt crusting the panes, but that meant whatever was out there wouldn't be able to see me either. Still, I bent over and sneaky style creeped up to the window and peeked over the ledge. Oh my God! There was something big and brown and furry sniffling around the door. A bear! There was a freaking bear trying to get into my cabin! A freaking bear! I dropped down to my knees so it couldn't see me. Maybe if I stayed very quiet, it would go away. But wait, didn't bears have excellent sense of smell? Oh no, what if I smelled delicious? Very carefully, I crawled across the floor to the opposite wall. Geez, the floor was absolutely freezing. Frigid air poured up through the boards. If the air could get in, it meant it could get out. And that meant the bear could smell me anywhere. Think, April, think of a solution. It can't be fixed with duct tape. It can't be fixed. I crawled over near the stove and pulled the big silvery roll of tape out, snapped the plastic wrapping open with my teeth, and very, very gently pulled an arm's length off the roll. Any faster and I'd risk the bear hearing a sound that could very well be interpreted as a growl or the cry of an injured, bunny? The bear scratched at the door again, and I swear I heard snuffling sounds. It took everything I had to hold in my squeaks of fear. What if I duct taped the door shut? Surely a massive sticky tape would flummox a wild animal. I put the piece of tape with my teeth and crawled back toward the door. If I paid attention to the cardio workout level of my heartbeat or the tangy taste of fear in the back of my throat, I wouldn't get this done. Carefully, I laid the tape across the bottom of the door where I could literally see his feet moving around in the gap. I pressed the edges to get it to stick. This piece was only long enough to go halfway. Before I got another piece started, the bear jumped on the door and the whole cabin rattled, the door quaking on its hinges. I couldn't help it this time. The scream just popped out of me. In response, I heard a horrible woofing sound. I didn't know bears sounded like dogs. Go away! I'm sure I'm not delicious to eat, which was a lie. I had plenty of fat stores that I'm sure a bear would relish. Was he supposed to be hibernating? Bear, you back down. You get back down here, you naughty thing. Just because you're cute doesn't mean you can. A grouchy, deep, manly voice yelled at the animal from somewhere near the cabin. I was saved! Wait a minute. Bears don't talk. And who talks to bears? Especially like that. I knew just the grumpity grump who had the balls to yell at a bear. Help! I'm being attacked by a wild animal. Oh, geez, I hope that didn't anger the beast and have it knocking down the door to eat my face. Down, bear. Sit. I listened close to try and see what in the world was happening. Surely a bear doesn't follow commands. Then I heard the slurping and chomping sounds. Crunch, crunch, crack. Oh no, oh no. The bear was eating Bridger and it was all my fault. Good boy, that's a good boy. You're the best boy, aren't you, bear? Yes, you are. The sweetest ooey gooey voice praised the bear. Like, what? First of all, Bridger Kingman didn't know how to be sweet. And second, did he have a trained bear? This wasn't the 18th century Russian court, for goodness sake. It was a small mountain town in Colorado. Someone or something knocked on the door, practically rattling it off the hinges. April, it's Bridger Kingman. We met at the hardware store. You're okay now. Come on out. No one's going to eat you. Swear to God, I heard him mumble something more that sounded like, unless you ask me to. I crawled back across the floor and peeked over the windowsill. Yep, that was Bridger Kingman, petting the fluffy, brown, furry head of his dog. His big-ass, brown, fluffy, furry dog. I slipped down the wall and hung my head for a full 3 breaths while I made faces at myself. It took me a couple more to tell my heart to stop freaking out. No bears were going to eat me. But maybe a hot defensive lineman was? There you go.
I love that so much.
That
And I
is
love your reading too. You're so animated and perfect.
Yeah, somebody in the
also
comments was
welcome
saying-
Uno to the call.
well,
Yeah.
hello, Uno.
Hi, Uno.
Deanna says you should narrate your own books because
That would be very
You're
fun.
so great at it.
very animated.
Very
So,
fun. Very fun.
I would just like to point out that as a realtor, I have been on many of Barely roads and
yes.
cabins such as that, including a road that is literally named Barely a Road.
That is
Berlya,
a great name for a road.
Barely a Road. And the cabin was like, it was off the grid, like totally off
Yeah.
the grid, generator, everything. So I'm like in the zone.
You're like,
here,
I know that cabin.
in this cabin.
It was
Wow,
barely a cabin.
I'm barely a road.
when I
Barely a
was writing
cabin.
the scene for wherein April finds her cabin, my family owns a big chunk of land outside of Bozeman, Montana,
Oh.
and my grandfather built a barely a cabin on the very tippy top of the hill, and nobody can get up there because you have to like hike to it, like you can't drive up there. But my dad goes up there all the time, and it is literally like barely a cabin. Like, and that was what was in my mind as I was imagining April's barely a cabin was this little teeny tiny shack that my grandpa built on top of this hill.
I make my husband come with me on all of those virtual tours because I always say, you don't want to go, let me do a virtual tour first.
Yes.
And so then I take my husband along. He drives his truck, so I don't have to take my Jeep up there.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was totally there the whole time, and then the hot guy at the end. Yeah,
hot guy at the end.
Love
Hot
it.
guy comes to save her.
Oh my gosh, I loved everything about what you just read.
Thank you.
So, good job.
April and Bridger. That is the prequel to my Cocky Kingman story about So my Cocky Kingman's is 7 brothers and 1 sister, and that is the story of how the parents met.
Ah.
I love that.
Yeah, very fun.
So
it's
set in like what year then? Is it retro?
Yeah, so it would be retro. So I imagined that my heroine April was one of the first trying to show the world that plus size models could be a thing in like the 80s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pioneer.
That makes me feel so old though.
What was so old?
That your story was set in the 80s because
I mean
these 8 children.
Right, yes.
For adults in your series.
Yes, they're adults in the series, yes. Holly asked if this one's paranormal. It is not. This is a contemporary.
Yes,
no
with Amy
shifting in this story.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We have Amy Award here tonight.
Amy Award.
Amy Award, not
right. Right.
I just gotta say though, I mean, you're talking about this cabin and the bears and all this and the snow, and then you said 7 brothers. Did you like watch 7 Brides for 7 Brothers?
I was just thinking that.
That would have been good, but when I imagined my Kingmans, the family that I'm writing about, I imagined the Bridgertons, but now, and they play football instead of being like dukes and earls and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
But 7 brothers for 7 curvy heroines, that would have been good too.
Or 7 curvy heroines for 7 brothers.
Yes, that would have been good.
I mean, that could be a series title.
7 cocky kitten.
I mean, maybe next time. Maybe
Cocky 7.
We could do Mountain Men.
I'll do a Mountain Man.
The original title for the story, before I realized that I wanted it to be the parents of my Cocky Kingmans, was Lumber Snack.
Oh.
But he's a football player, so I mean, I guess he could still be a lumber snack. But
You could be a football player.
Football
From
player
Montana.
logger,
Right.
right?
Well, we do have a question, one that I scrolled back to, and we'll have both of you answer this, but Amy will have you answer first. Is there anything you would like readers to take away from your book?
I mean, a big part of my stories is always that the heroine doesn't know that she was special in some way. And I also always write, all of my heroines are always plus size. They're always curvy girls. And I think a lot of plus size women don't know that they're special. And it is my mission in life to help them see that they get happy ever afters too.
I love that.
But also laughs.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I love that because my daughter, she's not curvy, but she's tall, right? She's like taller than all the other guys in her that are around her, and so she has troubles because she doesn't want to date anybody shorter than her. But I'm always telling her, like, you don't. I mean, there's somebody out there. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
he's gonna be like 7 feet tall, but
it's fine.
You'll get him. You'll find him. Yeah, I love it.
A basketball player.
Yeah.
Or she'll end up like totally falling for some guy who's like 5'7".
Right?
I know, right?
Some short king that will treat her like gold, right?
Yeah. I hope so because she's high maintenance. So she's gonna need somebody that's got some money. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking that, Linda.
Yeah, that was Linda. So
yes.
Linda's showing up as Facebook user tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. All right. And Sylvie, how about you? Just in general, is there anything you'd like readers to take away from your books?
Gosh, putting me on the spot here. Jeez. I like to write about people who are able to be self-deprecating, and I think humility is kind of an important thing to have. So I generally don't write a lot of like cocky alpha people, and everybody has flaws in all my books. And I don't know, like I always get the comment, oh my gosh, I feel like these people are my friends, or they could totally be my friends. And that's kind of what
those are totally characters we want in our lives, people that would be our friends. I love that, Sylvie.
Not that deep, but
but still.
Yeah.
All right. And there was another one. Where did it go? I have to find it. I have to scroll back up because I put a lot of stuff in there.
Yes.
I put a lot of links in there about the book, and I put.
I saw that. I was like, Dylan's on.
Yeah, I saw that.
No, I was on it tonight. Oh, this
You're
one.
always on it.
Well, I'm not always on it.
Her book reviews, interesting.
I think this might have been Linda as well. How important are book reviews? So, Sylvie, you want to take that one first?
Yes, ma'am. So important. Not only does it help with visibility on retailers, but it's just a way to convince other readers to give your book a shot. I mean, it's so important. And we like beg people for reviews. Like we'll give out ARCs and then like half the people will actually leave a review and they got a free book, and that's fine. But it's like, please, just leave your review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because in this day and age, like there's only so much that we trust advertising, right? So like I can tell you about my book and say, hey, it's great. But if you hear it from another reader, then you're like, oh, it's actually great. Okay, then I want to read it, right?
Well, and then I feel like too, at least with me, like when I try to explain my book, I'm like, well, there's like this heroine and she like, does these things. But like a reader will be like, oh my God, you have to look at you have to read chapter 2. And it's like a totally different kind of advertising and like description of your book too. Because they have like
excited.
Yes. Because you just go too much into it too when you're describing it as the author.
Because we know the whole story.
Yeah. But I think too that like with anything else, think about the last time you bought something on Amazon, like you bought a vacuum or a pot or a knife or something.
Sylvie, oh my gosh. Don't you buy more exciting things than vacuums, pots, and knives?
These days, no.
No. I know. No wonder you're writing books about
No.
hot
Okay.
flash and hockey,
So-
and you need to have more fun.
No, here's the thing though. Like, I am at the age where an awesome vacuum is like an aphrodisiac.
That is
It's
true.
like, oh, it gets me all hot and bothered. Like, I'm like, woo!
True.
Yeah,
And sometimes I got a nice vacuum.
my mom gave me her Roomba, her old Roomba for Christmas one year, and she's like, "I'm
Nice.
sorry, it's my old one," and I'm like, "Holy cow, thank you!" Like that was like the best Christmas present ever. She's like, "I'm sorry, it's like dinged up and it only goes like one way," and I'm just like, "It still works."
Karen
I
says we
get
should
it.
be buying toys on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of toys,
Right.
Karen? I don't know if I want to ask that.
Karen.
What kind of toys?
We have two, you
No
know.
links, please,
You know what
Karen. No
Karen
links.
means.
No
links
links
for that.
Karen.
No.
No links.
Just clarify a little bit. Just clarify a little bit, not graphically.
We know.
While we're still on the topic of book reviews and talking about books, the best thing you can do if you enjoy a book is tell a friend, because word of mouth, I mean, when they do all those, they crunch all the data and tell us, like word of mouth is actually the best way that people hear about other books is if you tell somebody. So
Because you trust your friends.
right.
Yeah.
They're your friends for a reason. You have similar tastes.
Or
So
you
tell your friends.
don't have similar tastes at all, and your opposites attract.
But you know what? Even opposites attract can like be totally like sit there. Like for instance, I had this friend Heather that was a massive reader, and we worked together. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you have to read Eve London." And she's like, "Holy cow, I love Eve London." And then we just we talked about it for like a while. So yeah, like and I didn't tell her all, I know Eve, I've
I
talked
know
to
you.
Eve
I
before.
know you.
But yeah, I mean, you can totally, I mean, I write and I read different genres, but readers, they just like to talk about books. I don't think it matters genres. So.
Yep. All right. Let me do one more, and then we'll hear from Sylvie. Karen is back with us tonight. We've missed you, Karen. Karen says, and this is a hot topic, I think. We actually talked about this.
We did. Dylan and I literally talked about this in the car this morning.
Because it seems to be a hot topic right now for readers. But do you think stories need to have a third act breakup? So what say you, Amy Award?
Right. So I am also not a fan of a third act breakup. But I do think, I don't want the story to just be like, they kiss and then happy ever after. We still need some conflict, right? So while I don't, my new book doesn't have a third act breakup, but there is still a dark night of the soul. But instead of at that point that my hero and heroine don't break up, instead they come together to overcome that dark night of the soul together. To me, that's delicious. Because especially for me in rom-coms, just in general, I don't like it when my characters are mean to each other. And I don't want to be sad. And you know what's sad is a third act breakup. So I didn't write it.
So do you find yourself writing more external conflicts that bring them together in the third act versus
that's absolutely what happened here. And I'm not gonna give any spoiler alert, but there's a scandal that they have to. I mean, I could see how the story could go at the scandalous part where they could have broken up, but I was like, poop. They're getting more together and they're going to fight against that external conflict together instead of letting that external conflict break them up.
Love it.
There's nothing wrong with a book that has a good third act breakup where it makes a lot of sense. But I think part of why it's such a hot topic right now is that I think a lot of readers don't like when that third act breakup is because of some sort of miscommunication. And I get that. But for me, it's always they're somehow, if they're going to break up, they're somehow mean to each other. And I don't like it when they're mean to each other. So, so I didn't write it in this one. It's not to say I won't write a third act breakup if it goes for the story, but probably not very many of them. Sylvie, what do you do?
I'm like 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either a conflict, an external conflict, or circumstances. Sometimes it's like a noble thing, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, I like reading both, so so I write both.
Yeah,
but I know people go on and on about the miscommunication thing, and oh my God, my first book I ever wrote.
Yeah.
The breakup was just like so cliche miscommunication. It was like, wow.
I feel that in my soul. There's definitely a book under the bed that has a miscommunication third act breakup. Never shall it see the light of day.
But I'll tell you, like when I first started, like my first series is still like my most popular one, and I did not follow the rules in that series. I just didn't, and it's still my most popular. So I don't know. So I'm less hesitant to break the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Break the rules or follow the rules?
No, I'm less hesitant to break the rules. Like
less hesitant.
I'm happy to break.
Sorry,
I missed the less. I missed the less.
You're like, but you do break rules.
One has to think that one through.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one had to sink in a little bit. That just less versus more, apparently.
I mean, I love a good third act breakup when done well and when it makes sense, because I mean, isn't that why we read, is to experience all the feels? And
no.
Yes, sometimes
not everybody reads for that.
Sometimes
some people read for that. Not everybody does.
So you want to go on that emotional journey, the falling in love part. I understand, but yeah, I do love a good third act breakup. They don't have to be like dramatic, I mean, it can be a little breakup, not like this, huge gouging out your heart kind of a thing. I don't know.
Some people think I'm really weird because I always say my favorite rom-coms are the ones where I laugh really hard and I cry really hard.
No, I think
and people are like, but that's not a rom-com. It absolutely is.
Absolutely some of the best books that make you laugh really hard and cry.
Yeah.
Both.
That being said, Dylan, we definitely need
Yes, we do.
Hear.
All right.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm preparing myself.
You have to read with dramatic inflection, like
you.
I'm teasing.
I like reading with dramatic inflection.
I was going to say, I have no doubt Sylvie will read with dramatic inflection. Are you setting anything up for us?
Just cut me off.
Are you setting anything up for us?
Oh, this is I write these little novellas and short stories that are all kind of set in my latest series, the world of my latest series. It's called Love on Tap, and it's about a family that owns a brewery in Asheville, North Carolina, which is where hubby and I are hoping to retire someday. So anyway, there's really no setup. This is like a enemies to lovers, as much as you can do that in a 10,000 word story, and single parents. So both of them are single parents. Okay. So it's called In Rover My Head. And I'm just going to start with chapter 1. Chapter 1, Mindy. I didn't intend to take a swim in the bitterly cold French Broad River in December, I swear. But when your daughter's beloved dog forgets he can't swim and dives into the water while chasing a bird, what's a mom to do besides come to the rescue? Spaghetti! Brooke shouts with glee from the riverbank as I hold her tiny, dripping, dim-witted mutt over my head and try not to get swept away by the current. Good God, it's cold in here. Don't come any closer, I yell, afraid Brooke might become impatient and start wading in herself. Ma'am, stay where you are, a new voice shouts from behind. But when I turn to find the source, my foot slides on a rock in the riverbed and I'm no longer standing. Well, shoot, this isn't good. Splash! My head goes under and I lose my hold on Spaghetti the mutt. Flapping my arms to try to locate him and keep myself from drowning, I whack my hand into what might be a person. This is confirmed when 2 strong arms pull me to the surface, my wet hair blinding me, and Brooke's panicked shouts from the bank filling my ears. Before I can even try to regain my footing, I'm hoisted up into the same strong arms, and then I'm being lugged to shore where the dude, because let's face it, those muscles don't belong to a woman, deposits me on my feet on blessedly dry ground. "Spaghetti!" Brooke cries again. And just as I'm searching for the words to break it to my sweet 5-year-old that her dog was killed by his own stupidity, I hear a familiar bark. Hands sweeping my soggy hair from my eyes, I finally take in the scene before me, and then wish that I'd been allowed to drown instead. Brooke is hugging a dripping Spaghetti to her chest as 6 members of the Asheville Water Rescue Team stare at me in my soaked, bedraggled state. Actually, that's not true. 4 are staring, while 1 wraps towels and blankets around Brooke and Spaghetti, and the 6th glares at me so hard, I'm surprised poison darts don't launch themselves from his eye sockets. "Oh, hi," it's all I've got. "Mindy?" One of the crew steps forward, and because my humiliation wasn't quite complete to this point, I recognize my sister's very hot boyfriend, Wyatt, dressed in an elaborate scuba suit and frowning my way. "Hey, Wyatt," I offer a weak wave as my body threatens to seize with cold. "No time like the present, newbies," Mr. Poison Dart barks, and 2 crew members immediately swarm me while a 3rd talks into her radio. "You know this woman, Adler?" The guy who fished me out asks Wyatt before turning that icy glare back to me. He's visibly older than the rest of the team, with a short salt and pepper beard and a crooked nose that's clearly been broken a time or 2. He's dressed in identical gear to the other crew members, except that his is soaking wet, and he's wearing a life vest with a rope secured around him. Yeah, Wyatt helps him shed his equipment as the crew at my side hands me a blanket and starts pulling my clothes off. "What are you? Hey, give that back!" I lunge for the down vest they just stripped off me. "Ma'am, we need to get these wet clothes off and get you warm and dry. The ambulance is on its way." "Ma'am? Ambulance? I can't decide which is more offensive." "I don't need an ambulance, Wyatt. This is ridiculous," I protest, my teeth chattering around my words. We've started to attract an audience, I notice, as a few people watch from the warehouse shop's walkway above us. Oh, goody, my dream come true. Even more strangers watching me get naked. As a blonde woman descends from the shops toward the bank, I recognize her as a local dog groomer named Hollis, who stocks some of my Woof and Wiener dog bakery treats at her shop. She stops to talk to a younger crew member who's warming Spaghetti up before approaching me and my new personal valets. I can feel the grouchy guy still staring daggers at me, but I ignore him. "Are you okay, Mindy?" Hollis's concern is apparent, and I'm getting more embarrassed by the second. "I'm fine," I direct the words of the guy yanking my jeans down my legs in front of the world. Thank goodness I listened to my mother all those years ago and never leave the house without nice underwear on. For Hollis, though, I muster a weak, reassuring smile under my frozen lips as I draw the blanket around me. This is a huge overreaction. I just fished Spaghetti out of the river, that's all. The wail of an ambulance in the distance promises to make my humiliation complete very shortly. "You want me to take Spaghetti up to my shop and get him cleaned up?" Relief floods me. I can literally see her shop from here, and maybe I can even sneak up there with her. "Please, that would be amazing." I teeter on one foot as the guy on my right pries on one wet sneaker. "Can you take Brooke with you?" I don't want her seeing the ambulance and getting worried. "Absolutely." Hollis winks at me and goes to collect my naughty dog and headstrong 5-year-old, who's now showing off her dance moves to the young guy holding Spaghetti. If I weren't so busy trying to hide my lace bra from the crowd, I might laugh at how close that little apple falls from my tree. I've always been good at singling out the young, cute ones. Wyatt comes over to check on me as the ambulance pulls up, and then I'm whisked into the back of the vehicle where I'm covered in more blankets, given a warm drink, and my vitals are checked. I can't imagine how much this is going to cost me. That dog is eating bargain kibble from here on out. My teeth have finally stopped chattering, so that's a plus. But when I beg Wyatt not to mention this incident to my sister Daphne, his expression tells me it's a lost cause. The guy has got it bad for my sister, and no way would he risk her wrath if she found out on her own. My big sis tends to be a tad protective. Too late. he tells me, not even trying to inject any regret into his tone. She's on her way. I groan and bury my face in a blanket. What in the hell were you thinking, wading into the river in the middle of winter? I recognize the voice of my cranky rescuer. Not that I needed any rescuing, thank you very much. See, I shouldn't have looked away. When I lift my eyes, I see he's now wearing a dry uniform jacket and a matching red beanie. His eyes are still frozen, however. Their slate gray suggests he's probably made entirely of stone. You have no way of knowing the water's depth or how strong the current is. What would make you do something so reckless and irresponsible? He practically spits at me. Now, if this man had met me before, he would know that calling me irresponsible is perhaps the best way to earn a punch in the nads. Wyatt's groan from a few feet away tells me he wouldn't have made that same mistake. I straighten my spine where I sit on the cot and feel my lips curl into a snarl. What was I thinking? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I was thinking I didn't want my daughter to witness her best friend turn into a popsicle in front of her eyes. I up the sarcasm and prop a finger on my chin as I continue. No, wait. I should have let my 5-year-old jump into the freezing water to swim after her dog instead, which is exactly what she was trying to do before I restrained her and went in myself. That sounds like a winner of an idea, don't you think? Wyatt takes a step back from the pissed-off lady and is joined by the young crew member Brooke was flirting with minutes ago. I notice a few more witnesses as well, but this guy has picked the wrong mama to mess with. And speaking of what people are thinking, I continue, did it occur to you that barking, while I was doing fine on my own, by the way, might startle me and make me lose my footing? I yank my massive soggy hair that took a bath thanks to his shouting earlier. One of the EMTs interrupts to hand me a form to sign. Thank you, I tell her, deliberately making a show of my appreciation to highlight the lack of thanks I'll be extending to this jerk. He's not done with me yet. Oh, so you think it would be better for your daughter to watch her mother drown than an animal? His hands are perched on his hips now, and he's got his sneer perfected. Spaghetti is not just an animal. I gesture in the vague direction of the warehouse shops, where my daughter and Mutt are safely tucked away. He's a member of the family, and where I come from, we take care of our own. Where I come from, we use common sense to assess risks before jumping recklessly into action. You're lucky we were doing a training exercise down the way, or you might be dead right now. The man's head jerks in a frustrated shake, while I shed my blanket and rise to my feet. It's much easier to be indignant when you're standing. Oh, please, the water didn't even go up to my boob level. I gesture down at myself, immediately regretting it, when this yahoo's eyes drop to my boobs, the ones encased in only a sheer sodden bra now. I gasp and throw a blanket over myself again. Perv. But I refuse to let him see me flustered, so I power through. I had it covered. It's not like we're in the middle of nowhere. The warehouse shops are right there, warm and dry. Cold water immersion and shock hit you out of nowhere, not to mention hypothermia. Even an Olympic swimmer can drown in seconds in water this cold. You're darn lucky you made it. Your tone makes it sound like you'd rather I had bitten the dust. Some rescue worker you are. I scoff, knowing I'm likely taking this a little far. But the guy is on my last nerve, and he just saw my boobs and my underwear. Now you're being ridiculous, he bites back as his eyes scan my blanket-covered figure from head to toe. He sends me one last frown before turning and stalking away, saving his parting words for Wyatt and the other guy. I'll be at the truck. I might flip him off behind his back if there weren't witnesses. We got to fill out a report, the young guy says as he and Wyatt approach the ambulance, his friendly tone a stark contrast to his older colleagues. Wyatt introduces his coworker as Denny, while I pretend these guys didn't just see me mostly naked. Hugo's not wrong, the Denny guy tells me, but I can understand why you did what you did. If it had been our family's skunk, I would have done the same thing. Thank you, I stutter, momentarily thrown off by the idea of the skunk as a pet. Vindicated, I relax on the cot again, as he and Wyatt ask me a few questions and confer with the EMTs. Before long, I'm released, having signed the form saying I refused the offer of a ride to the ER. I'm just ready for this Friday to be over so we can get on with our weekend. Without any more input from the icy-eyed, cranky rescue dude. Thank you very much. Done.
Perfect. Oh my gosh.
And I have my fan on my head here because the menopause hot flashes.
You see my fan?
I
Dylan.
I love your voice so
Sweater
much.
on and a fan. Yeah, that was hysterical, Sylvie.
Yes. Yes.
Uno came over and purred through your entire reading.
What'd you say?
Uno came over and purred through your entire reading.
Yeah, no, I was actually seeing Uno, and I thought maybe I should be like we have another visitor, or like, but I didn't know if he was gonna be gone by then.
Here for the long haul, I think.
Now that I have the cat fan base covered, I'm happy.
Yeah, the cat fan
Yeah.
base is in. He was in.
That's the important one. You know, they're very judgmental. So
Very.
if they like you and they like your reading, you're good to go.
You're good.
You're
I think-
basically
He heard that, you know, your heroine would jump in the river to save
mhm,
a member of the
animal.
family. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you have a fan in Uno for life.
Yeah.
I promise you, though, Hugo grows on you when you get to
No.
his next chapter. Then
Yeah.
you will.
I gotta be completely honest. I love myself a grumpy hero. Like
Yes.
I was like, oh, he's so sexy. Like right away. Like right away. You were like, he was scowling, and I'm like, oh, that's it. That's the guy. Like that's him. That's the hero.
So
I
easy.
got this. Yeah.
All right, we have a couple more questions I want to get
Yeah.
to before we run out of time, because
Let's do that.
this whole entire hour has flown by. Holly wants to know, it might have been asked, and it has not been asked, Holly, so you're the first one. What book of yours should we start with? So, Sylvie, why don't you answer that first? If
Well,
someone's totally new to you.
Since I'm in the middle of a new series, I'm going to say start with the first book in this series because it's super fun. It's called, the series is called Love on Tap, and the book is called Ales Fair in Love and War.
Ales fair. That's cute.
It's like Whiskey Wars, only with beer.
It's sorry. It's an enemies to lovers, so, and neighbors and that kind of stuff. Oh, it's good.
It's very fun.
And how about you, Amy?
Amy Award only has one book out, and it is this one. So you should read The Cock Down the Block.
Yeah.
However, if you happen to like Curvy Girls and Paranormal Romance, I highly recommend a book called Dirty Wolf by
Yeah.
80 Award.
Yeah.
She's an excellent author.
Awesome. Speaking of excellent authors, Jennifer would like to know, is there a certain author you look up to?
That's a good question.
Lucy Score.
Oh, I love Lucy.
I was gonna say, I pretty much look up to everyone because I'm pretty short, but
I'm pretty sure you're taller than me. So
I don't know.
And me.
I don't know. I think just in general, indie authors especially are all just kind of badasses.
Mhm.
Like I look up to a lot of different authors just because especially indie authors they break barriers that we didn't even know could be broken.
mhm.
So I don't know that I can name anybody in particular, but I look up to Sylvie and I look up to Dylan and I look up to Dawn because they do cool shit. Sorry, they do cool shit.
That's okay. I'm a sailor. I say shit all the time.
And I look up to you, Amy. I was going to say 80. Ugh.
I know.
Amy.
Because you have a vision, and I love that.
Yes.
And Dylan can do more in an hour than I can do in an entire day, which I totally am jealous of. And I look up to.
Legit.
And
You
don't
are not wrong.
you, but I'm
Oh
sure
my
there's a reason I would look up to you too.
I know. We just met. No, you are not wrong about Dylan. I'm constantly being like, Dylan, like, do you sleep? I think that in my brain, like, do you sleep? Do you
Stop.
what do you do to here's my question for Dylan today. And do we have more questions, or can I ask you like the last question?
I'm looking. I think, well, Deanna wanted to know what book that was from, and I just posted that. That Sylvie just read from In Rover Her Head in the anthology.
Show the anthology again, Dylan.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know. I wish
Put, like,
I
a
wish
thing
I
in
had
the
a
middle.
copy that didn't have the advanced reader copy across the front, but But I had to get proofs because these are going in the Romance Happy Hour Chasing Holiday Tale book box. And I wanted to make sure, when you're getting this much book, you want to make sure it's right.
And you are giving one away today.
We are,
or
but
this
not
week.
this one. Yes, we are giving one away, not this one, because this one has the thing on
You
it.
don't
So
want
we are
Mark.
giving away a pristine covered one. And what did we say to do that?
How do you enter to win?
You go to the Romance Happy Hour Facebook page, and I
believe it's Goodreads. You put it on your
add it to your want to read list on Goodreads, the anthology. And I will actually go to Goodreads and get the link for that. So you don't even have to. Well, it's on the thing. Yeah. So go to Romance Happy Hour Facebook page, and it's in the giveaway post. There's a link to add it.
So you can win all of these women's amazing works. Like I would just sat here going, one last question. Well, not one last question. I have a question for Dylann, but Dylann, do you write in first person in this anthology as well?
Yes.
So that's interesting. All first person.
Well, I don't think they're all first person. I mean, it varies.
Well, I mean, you three.
Yeah. Some are like mine's first person past. I know Amy, yours was.
I am also first person past.
Oh, past. Or,
I can't do first
Sylvie's
person.
Was present. No. It up. Sylvie's was present.
I do both. This series is first person present, so that's why I do the shorter stories in first person present.
I'm so intimidated by first person, but I'm gonna have to try it out. I think at least
try it.
You guys have inspired me to try it because
I feel like once you try first person, it gets really easy to drop into your characters' heads because you're saying I all the time.
Yeah,
try it.
Well, you guys had beautiful.
Or you know what? Do what Kristen Ashley does. She does first person for the female characters and third person for the male characters.
Ooh, fascinating.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen several authors who have done that now.
Interesting.
She's always done that.
I don't know what readers prefer. I mean, I think
they prefer everything.
I know there's a reader for every type.
Yeah.
No matter if you're writing first person past or present or third person or second person. There's probably some people who prefer.
There are some books out there in second person.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I've heard people were saying for a while there that first person present was young adult.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they've stopped saying that.
I think they've stopped saying it too.
I think when
it was
books were first coming out, and it was shocking because it was a new way of writing things. They were, but I'll read anything. I just care that it's a good story. But I do feel like third person now, it just feels more distant, because you aren't in their head. And so I do like first person better. But my trad books are all third person because that's what trad preferred.
Yeah. So question then, have you ever read any first person historicals? Because that's what I'm working on next. And I just realized we haven't really actually had very many historical authors here on the show.
Well,
maybe have we had any?
Of course we've had some. Kate Bateman has been on.
Yeah, Kate. Yeah, Kate has.
Oh gosh, we've had several.
Okay.
I can picture her face and I cannot think of her name right now. But yeah, we've had several historical people on.
Yeah.
I remember
have any of them written in first person historical?
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't read a lot of historical. I tend to read more.
I feel like the historicals that I have read were written a while ago, and so third was more the place. But I wonder if I picked up something brand new, if there would be something in first.
I don't know. You should do it, Dawn.
Do it.
That's a good question. I mean, I'm trying to do a historical rom-com here, so that's next. I'm so excited to be done with this book that I've been working on. That's just like making me want to punch myself in the face.
What is this that you just finished?
It's called Saved by the Fire Chief. So I'm in a world, the Saved by the Everyday Hero world, and this one is the firefighter rescue hero, because my husband was Coast Guard and I write some Coast Guard. I was hoping to get like Navy or Marines, but I ended up getting the firefighter. So don't hate me if you're like, that's not how our volunteer fire department does it.
It's fiction.
It's fiction. All I know is shipboard firefighting since I did it myself. So it was like, oh, I hope that's how they do it on land. But yeah, and it just I just got it done, and I'm editing it, and now I want to write my historical so I can kind of just disappear and like disconnect. I mean, I love to just like mix it up. So same with my reading. I do that with my reading too. Sometimes I feel like contemporary, sometimes I feel like historical, and that's me.
Yeah.
But now I completely forgot what I was going to ask you, Dylan. So I'm going to have to ask you at a different time when it pops.
Well,
in
you
my
know
head.
what? You know where to find me, so you can ask me anytime.
Oh, you guys, I have to say something though in response to Dawn. You're talking about firefighters. I was working at Panera today, and the fire alarm went off, and 3 fire trucks came screaming up. All that stuff, and it came like to the curb, and I'm outside on the like patio area, and I'm like,
I'd be outside like this.
Yeah.
and I know, right? But oh my God, it was a false alarm, which I already knew before they got there. That's why I was still sitting on the patio. I'm not stupid, but so it was a false alarm, and only one guy got out, and he was like the schlubby driver.
Oh,
I was like,
Sylvie, some of our readers or some of our viewers have heard this story before, but I was at a writers conference, New Jersey Romance Writers Conference, and we set off the fire alarm at the hotel, and tons of firefighters just start flooding in. And can you imagine all these writers just like
I can't imagine that.
like we didn't even evacuate. We were just there.
you're like, it's worth it.
It's worth it. Oh no.
Burns, no problem. He's hot.
We didn't mean to set it off, we promise.
We promise.
And how many people like fainted and had to be carried out?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're like a lot of Italians there. Can you imagine all these Italian firefighters like coming in for these romance writers? I mean, yeah, it was fun. That was a fun
There's
conference.
a rash of firefighter stories coming out of New Jersey like a year after this.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I hate to say it, Dawn, but we are like way over. So
I was just gonna say that too. Yeah, like
No.
we're very way over.
No, I could sit and chat with these 2 ladies all night long, and have before. So yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm just gonna tell Sylvie the one and only time that I think we have been anywhere over this was when Lucy Score was on the show. With us.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
we had a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, Dylan. So we are at our time.
Yep.
This is an amazing anthology for all you viewers to go and pick up, and it is for charity.
Yep.
So if you haven't gotten your copy, get your copy, and then get your friends and your family members. It makes great Christmas presents.
It
I'm
does.
just saying, I'm already starting my Christmas present purchasing. So pop over to the. Did we post a link? You posted a link earlier.
Yep.
Pop over
And it's
to the link.
available at all retailers.
All the retailers.
So
Yes. Yep. And then, Dylan, we have 3 episodes left
I
for the
know.
rest of the year, and we're trying to plan our holiday
Isn't that nuts?
thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Yeah, we have something super fun planned that we'll be doing for the holidays. We just don't know what it is yet.
yeah, we don't know what it is, but it's going to be so much fun.
I know. We keep saying that we need to chat, and I never see Dawn in between episodes of Romance Happy Hour. So when Dawn slows down, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah, I'm slowing down though. The real estate season is over, or like getting over in October.
So we will figure it out, and we will get things posted. But in the meantime, make sure you go enter our giveaway, and then Amy and Sylvie, parting thoughts. Is there somewhere where it's the best place to connect with both of you? Where are you most active on your
I
social
am honestly the absolute most active on TikTok. So come play with me. I'm hilarious.
I know you are. It's clear by your book.
Can confirm.
Can confirm. I'm hilarious.
I'm terrible about social media. Join my Facebook group, and that's where you can talk to me.
Yes.
But also, I'm on YouTube a lot these days, not personally, but I have posted a ton of audiobooks you can listen to for free on YouTube.
Ooh,
I always read the comments and respond.
love
Yes,
that.
I forget. I also have an amazing Facebook group called the Amazeballs.
Mhm.
Join my Amazeballs Facebook group because we do have a lot of fun over there. But also,
And my Facebook group is called Sylvie's Spot for it. That you can probably just look that up and it'll find it. But it's Sylvie's Spot for the sexy, sassy, and smart assy.
I love the alliteration.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
if you'll both come back and post links to your groups
yes, ma'am.
or wherever you want people to find you.
Where do you want us to post that?
In the comments, Sylvie. In the comments.
She's been commenting. She's
That
like
would
the
be
one
great. No,
person
she has. So
that's found it out, figured it out. Yeah.
all
All right. Well,
and
we are going to say goodbye. Oh, sorry, Dylan. Sorry.
I was just gonna say we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah. And we'll see you later. And